Salute everybody. Salute, salute, salute. We're here. It is week one. It is officially week one. The college football season has officially begun. And week zero, boy. I was very entertained. Wasn't no big market teams that played last Saturday, but man, did we get a show. Iowa State, Kansas State went down to the limit. The game almost went in overtime. What about UNLV and Idaho State? Man, Dan Mullen's coaching debut with UNLV, it was a nail biter. They had a hard time with Idaho State. Idaho State, the Bengals brought it, and they took the mighty UNLV Rebels deep into the fourth quarter. It took them 4 quarters to put Idaho State away. And what about that showdown in Hawaii? And Honolulu, Stanford, Hawaii coming from behind to win that game. Boy, that was a thriller. Well, this week, the heavyweights hit the field. You got Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, Miami, LSU, Clemson, Alabama, Florida State, South Carolina, Illinois, Georgia Tech, Colorado, Auburn, Baylor. We're going to talk about that briefly. And also, what I'm going to start off, and this is what I'm going to be doing every Monday on the DAWG call, is I am going to give my top 5 SEC teams for week one. Yes, no one has played, so I can only go by what's on paper. I can only go by what's being told to me coming out of these camps. Boots on the ground. We have boots on the ground here this year in 2025. So I'm going to be bringing you, based on the reports that were brought back to me, the top 5 teams for week one. And then we'll do week 2 after, some teams have put in some body of work. And then we'll go from there. But for this week, for one time only, we'll be going based off what's on paper, based off what's being said coming out of these camps. So everyone, get your popcorn ready. This is the 2025 premiere of the DAWG Call.
Bring on Florida, bring on Bama, and bring on Texas too. We stay true. The dogs stay true. We're the one, we're the few.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy Monday to everyone. Happy Monday to everyone. And welcome to the first episode of the DAWG call of the 2025 college football season. I'm your host, Amondo Black. Salute everybody. Salute. Make sure you come on in and hit that like button. And if you have not already subscribed to the channel Amondo Black Sports TV, shame on you. Shame on you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and also hit that notification bell. We're going to be bringing you some great content this college football season, courtesy of 20 East Media Network, LLC. Salute to you. Salute everybody. Salute. Well, here we are. Here we are. It seems like yesterday that I was live down at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium live for the Ohio State Notre Dame National Championship game. And boy, was that a game. It went down to the fourth quarter. Ohio State stood tall and won the crown in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Well, this is a new season, a new day, new time, clean slate, wipe the slate clean. And we're starting off a fresh, brand new college football season, everyone. And I am excited. I think I know for a fact, you have to go back to, if I'm not mistaken, you have to go back to 1989. Some of you don't even remember 1989. What happened in the year 1989? That was the last time that you had a preseason ranked number one going head to head with a preseason ranked number two. The last time it happened, 1989, between Notre Dame and Michigan. I think Notre Dame came into the year ranked number one. Michigan came in ranked number two. So let's get started here. Ohio State, Texas, they do battle Saturday. I'm going to give a brief take on that. A lot of people are predicting Texas to win the game. Ohio State, defending national champions. A lot of Ohio State fans actually think they have a chance to repeat. And make no mistake about it, they still have some elite players. They have some elite players on that squad, and they have the capability of repeating. I don't know, me personally, if they'll be able to repeat, for the simple fact there's a team in the Big Ten, in my opinion, that is the most talented team in 2025, in my opinion, on paper. I have to see what they're going to do on the field, and that is the Penn State Nittany Lions. They come back with the most loaded roster out of all the teams in the nation, and this is James Franklin's best chance to get a national title. And in my opinion, if James Franklin cannot get a national title this year in 2025, I don't think he'll be able to get one, because he will not have enough. He will not have this much talent at one time in a while. It's rare in this day and time with the transfer portal. We're in the transfer portal era, and we're in the NIL era. It's difficult to have this much talent at one time on a team, and the retention rate that so many players decided to come back instead of going into the NFL. It's all there for Penn State, in my opinion. It's all there. There's no excuse. And I can also say the same thing for Texas. Now, although I believe that Penn State is a little bit more talented than Texas, but Texas has a squad coming back as well. They have arguably the best defensive player in the nation, Anthony Hill, coming back. A lot of people are hyping up Arch Manning. They're saying he's going to be a guaranteed Heisman. You have teams in the NFL already planning the tank for him. So Texas, and they have CJ Baxter back. They have their bell cow running back now. Remember now, for those of you that don't remember, CJ Baxter went down with a season-ending injury in fall camp last year. Can you imagine if they would have had CJ Baxter on that team last year? Maybe they win the SEC title. Maybe things go differently in the Cotton Bowl, and CJ turn around, hand the ball off to CJ Baxter, let him close it out. Ewers wouldn't have had to do so much in that game if you would have had a CJ Baxter. I think things would have been kind of different. You put CJ Baxter on that team, on that Texas team, on that 2024 Texas team, and I think you may have a different outcome. Yes. But he's going to be matched with Wisner. Wisner is going to be his backfield roommate, and I'm telling you, that's going to be one of the deadliest backfields in the nation. But we're going to get into that in the upcoming shows. We're going to get into that Saturday morning kickoff, and also 2 Live Sports, and also my brother D-Truth does the Sports After Dark as well. So we're going to definitely get into all of that. But first things first, my top 5 SEC rankings. Now, unlike some other content creators, Kangaroo Black, unlike Kangaroo Black, and for those of you that missed it, I was on Kangaroo Black's panel last night. We had a pretty good discussion. I thought it was going well, and then he dropped me, and that was rude, brother. That was rude. That was rude, man. You don't invite someone in your house and have a discussion with them, and then, you know, if you don't get the answer you want, you just kick them out the house. No, man, that ain't how you do it. That was rude, brother. That was rude. But I'll let you slide on that one, man. You didn't know better. And man, you really got emotional when I was like basically crossing you up with questions. You know, you were asking me questions, and all I did was turn around and ask you the same questions. And you got flustered and you kicked me off the panel, man. What's going on? You know, you really got emotional last night. Well, you must be one of them Leo dudes. Hey, man, you my dog, though, bro. Hey, man, you my dog, man, at the end of the day. But it's all love at the end of the day. But my top 5 is based on 2025, because 2024 is over with. All right. I don't know about you, Kangaroo, but when I look at my calendar, I see 2025. So what I'm about to put up is what I think. This is my prediction on how I think it's gonna turn out at the end of week 12. Once the rivalry games are over with, the Iron Bowl, Georgia Tech, Texas A&M, Texas. This is how I think is how the final rankings are going to look going into the SEC championship week. That's what I think this is going to look. And this is my week 1 rankings. And this is basically off of what's on paper and what I've been hearing coming out of camp. And based on teams that have improved and teams that have regressed, teams that the way I think certain games are going to go, certain matchups are going to go. So let's start off with number 5. I think Bama. First of all, I just want to say this. I got 5 SEC teams in the playoffs this year. 5. Because I don't think the ACC is going to get 2 in. I think they'll get 1 in. The Big 12 will get 1 in. And I think the Big 10 will probably get, I think the Big 10 will get 3 in this time around, because this committee is adamant. They're going to be adamant about strength of schedule. And I think although what happened last year in the SEC where teams cannibalize each other, I don't see that happening this year. And you're going to have a couple of teams that are going to be much improved. Now, Bama, I got Bama at number 5, like I stated last night on Kangaroo Black's panel. I think Bama will be a playoff team, but they're going to go 9-3. I got Bama losing to Georgia. I got them losing a very close game. It could be a field goal, a nail biter in Bryant-Denny to LSU. And every so often, every 4 or 5 years, what happens to Bama? They run into a Jordan Hare surprise. And I think this is the year that they run into that Jordan Hare surprise. The last time they ran into a Jordan Hare surprise was 2019, the year before the pandemic. Before that, it was 2017. Before that, it was 2013. 2010, the comeback was in Bryant-Denny. But the last 3 Jordan Hare surprises have happened in spurts. And I think this year, they're due for one. Because, when I think about Alabama, and I'm going to go into this when I address Kangaroo Black, there's no one other than Ryan Williams that scares me on this team. No one. Now, before the Jam Miller injury, Jam Miller scared me because he can run over you, through you, and he's a closer. He hurt us in that 2023 SEC championship game. He can catch balls out of the backfield. Jam Miller, losing him is a huge loss. It's a huge loss. Never fails. Someone calls when I'm live. Sorry about that, everyone. So there's no one on this team other than Ryan Williams. If the draft was tonight and Ryan Williams was eligible, let's just say everyone on the team was eligible. There's only one name that comes to mind that would be a guaranteed first rounder, and that's Ryan Williams. Last year, teams, and people can say what the hell they want to say about Jalen Miro. At Kangaroo, he was poo-pooing on Jalen Miro, but he didn't get drafted by Seattle for nothing. Okay, they didn't draft him for nothing. Jalen Miro was a problem the last 2 years. He was definitely a problem. Okay, for not just for Georgia, he was a problem for LSU. He was a problem for South Carolina. He was a problem. He was a problem. So, but the kid that they got coming in this year, Ty Simpson, I don't know much about him. Okay, I don't know much about him, but I will say this: from what I'm hearing in camp, he's not elite. Okay, before I heard or seen anything about Tua, I was hearing out of Bama camp that he was elite. What we were hearing about Jalen Hurts before he even took the field at Bryant-Denny, we heard he was elite. He was elite coming out of high school. Tua was elite coming out of high school. Bryce Young was elite coming out of high school. Hell, we wanted Bryce Young. We tried to get him. Jalen Miro, we wasn't elite, but he was dangerous. He has elite athletic. He's an elite athletic quarterback. Ty Simpson is, I'm not hearing that about him. If anything, I'm hearing about Ty Simpson is concerns. And Kangaroo Black, you're concerned about Ty Simpson. You're not completely sold on Ty Simpson. You're not going to say it out loud. You're not going to say it out loud. But in private, deep down inside, brother, you're not confident about Ty Simpson like you were, let's say, a Tua or Jalen Hurts or Bryce Young. If you're honest with yourself and you're honest with your people over there, you will admit you're not comfortable with that kid. You're not. Okay. So you don't have anyone on your team that stands out. All the past teams, you had more than one player. Okay. Let's go to 2023. Caleb Downs, Isaiah Bond, Jalen Miro, Jermaine Burton, Dallas Turner. You had players that scared the hell out of people. You know, so you had players on your team that was really a problem. You only have one player that an opposing team may say, okay, we gotta, that's the person we gotta stop. Ryan Williams. That's it. That's it. All right, so let's go to number 4. And the Oklahoma Sooners. This is going to be the most improved team in the SEC, in my opinion. Oklahoma is going to do a complete turnaround this year. They finished hot with a big win, a big signature win over Bama. They had a hiccup in the bowl game against Navy. They didn't have a quarterback. They got hit with injuries last year. But this year, this team is loaded. This team is loaded, and they have the quarterback, John Mateer, and the coordinator that coached John Mateer. So this Oklahoma team, and Brent Venables is calling the plays on defense now. If you notice, there was a big difference in Oklahoma's defense the first half of last season versus the second half of the season. The second half of the season, Brent Venables took over the play calling. And guess what? He's going to be calling the plays this year on defense. And if you know anything about Brent Venables, he is the main reason why Clemson won those 2 national titles. He's the main reason. He was the architect of that Clemson defense that shut down Bama not once, but twice. And those were 2 loaded Bama teams, especially the massacre in Santa Clara. That was Brent Venables. Brent Venables' fingerprints was all over that defense. Wilkinson, A.J. Terrell. That was Brent Venables' defense. That's the style of defense, and that's the type of play that you're going to get from a Brent Venables defense. So this Oklahoma team is going to be dangerous. And I've been saying for years, Oklahoma's offense, they're known for offense. They've been known for offense since, Bob Stoops left. They've been known for offense. What would happen if they can get both clicking at the same time? Because we all know John Mateer and his offensive coordinator, they're going to put up some points. So you add that in with that Oklahoma defense, that loaded defense that they're going to have, they're going to be a problem. They are going to be a problem. I'm glad they're not on our schedule this year in 2025. All right, let's go on to number 3, the LSU Tigers. I had originally picked LSU as my favorite to win the SEC, but the O-line is the only question mark. The only question mark. Can they protect up front? Can they run protect? Can they run block up front? Because in order for LSU to be successful this year, in order for LSU to make it to Atlanta or get into the playoffs, and I have them in the playoffs, I'm predicting LSU. I'm predicting all 5 of these teams to make it to the playoffs. I got all 5 of these teams making it to the playoffs. So in order for LSU to make good on my prediction, they're going to have to be able to run the ball. Garrett Netzmeyer is not going to be able to do it all by himself. Now, I think Garrett Netzmeyer is going to have a damn good year. As a matter of fact, I'm calling it right now. He's going to be a Heisman finalist in New York. I'm high on LSU. I think they're going to have a damn good team. They're going to be dangerous. They're going to be hard to beat. Now, will they beat Clemson Saturday? I don't know, because Clemson has elite talent on that team as well. But one thing I will tell you, LSU can lose that game and still be in great shape. Same thing goes for Texas. They can lose to Ohio State, still be in great shape. Everything is still in front of them. So, but if they go up to Clemson and win that game, then I think the conversation is going to change to, is LSU the team to beat in the SEC? Absolutely. At number 2, my Georgia Bulldogs. Hey, what can I say? What can I say? They reload, they rebuild and reload. And this team is loaded. A lot of you don't really realize it, or you don't understand, because the media is not really talking about Georgia the way they normally have in the past previous 3 years. Georgia's kind of flying under the radar this year. That makes them dangerous. Remember 2021, they came into that year, they were preseason ranked number 6 in the AP. In the coaches poll, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were preseason ranked number 8 in the coaches poll. They flew and they came into 2021 under the radar, and they were underdogs in that season opener against Clemson. And I'm going to get into a little bit of that when I address Mr. Kangaroo Black. But my Georgia Bulldogs are 10 times better than what they were last year. Last year, in my opinion, and I hope this doesn't rub any Georgia fan the wrong way, but this is just my opinion, okay? And I have a right to my opinion. Last year's team, in my opinion, was Kirby's worst team, talent-wise. And some of you will say, whoa, no, what about the 2016 Georgia Bulldogs team? What about the 20? The reason why I say that, because we had no elite receivers last year. Not one. Not one receiver that could go that was a deep threat down the field. Not one receiver that could close a game out. Not one receiver that we were confident in that Carson Beck could throw the ball to if it was, the last drive late in the fourth quarter, and there was a situation where it was 4th and forever, and we needed to go in the end zone. Not one receiver on the roster. Could we say that about? Kobe Young was the only one that could fit that bill, but Kobe Young, we lost him, I say, a little bit before the midway part of the season, due to some off the field issues. But the other receivers, there was no confidence in them being a clutch. We didn't have a clutch receiver. In 2016, we had Isaiah McKenzie. Remember the Missouri game? Yeah. There was a lot more tap. The running backs were better. Sony and Nick Chubb. Yeah. We had better receivers that year. Terry Godwin, Isaiah McKenzie, Javon Williams, Riley Ridley. I'll take that receiver squad over that 2024 receiver squad that we had last year that led the nation in drops. But despite all of that, look at the stats. Look at the stats. We were terrible against the run. We led the nation in drops. But with all of that being said, Kirby found a way to turn Kool-Aid into champagne and walked off with his, if I'm not mistaken, his 3rd SEC crown in a loaded SEC last year. So what the hell do you think he's going to do this year with a loaded team? And I think, in my opinion, offensively, this is the most talented team. This will be the most talented offensive team that Kirby has had since he's been at Georgia. From the running back room to the receivers. Now, I will say this. The tight end room he had in 2021 was much better. The tight end room he had in 2021, 2022 was much better. But this receiver core, Kirby has never had anything like this. Never. Never. So get ready. These Georgia Bulldogs, they're going to be dangerous. They're going to be the most dangerous team in the nation because they're flying under the radar. There's no pressure. No one is talking about them. No one has any lofty, high expectations for them this year. So they're flying under the radar. In my opinion, I feel like they're being disrespected. Now, we're going to go from the disrespected to the most hype team that I've seen. You got to go back to the 2005 USC Trojans. The last time a college football team has been this hyped up, in my opinion. That's this Texas Longhorn, every media outlet has them winning the national title or playing for a national title. Most media outlet has Arch Manning winning the Heisman. There are NFL fans praying that their team tanks so they'll be able to draft Arch Manning. Arch Manning. Texas is loaded. This team is loaded. And the praise is well deserved. The expectations are well deserved. They are loaded. They're loaded. I can't hate at all. I can only be honest about the entire situation. This team is loaded, and they're going to be a problem. And if they go into Columbus on Saturday, like I think they will, they go into Columbus on Saturday and get a win, a decisive win against that loaded Ohio State defense and that loaded Ohio State team, they're not as loaded as they were last year. Ohio State they don't have a Juergens. They don't have a Travion there anymore. Abuka is not there anymore, but they still have Tate. They still have Jeremiah Smith. In my opinion, the best receiver I've seen in college football since Megatron, in my opinion. Haven't seen anything like this kid since Megatron. A player that can just take over, that just scares the hell out of defensive coordinators. Yeah. If they can go into the Horseshoe Saturday on Big Noon Kickoff and pick up a win against those Ohio State Buckeyes, look out. Because that means that this Texas team is as good as advertised. And I do mean as good as advertised. So there it is. My top 5 for week 1. Number 5, I have those Alabama Crimson Tide. At number 4, the Oklahoma Sooners. I think the Oklahoma Sooners will be a playoff team. They'll get in either at 9-3 or 10-2. LSU Tigers, I think they're going to be a playoff team as well. I think they'll get in at 10-2. The Georgia Bulldogs, I think they'll definitely be a playoff team. They'll get in at 10-2. And Kangaroo Black has this notion that I'm a delusional dog fan. I've consistently said throughout the offseason, I think Georgia's looking at 2 L's this year. Can't really. The first one, that Auburn game going into Jordan Hare, they're going to be coming off a bye week. We're going to be coming off a physical game against Kentucky. 2 back-to-back physical games with Alabama and Kentucky. Well, 3 back-to-back. I'm sorry. Well, no, back-to-back. Alabama and Kentucky, because we had a bye week after the Tennessee game. And then we have to go into Jordan Hare at night. And I just, like same thing I said about Bama, I'm saying the same thing about Georgia. Every so often, Georgia has a Jordan Hare surprise. They walk into a Jordan Hare buzzsaw. And I think, Georgia may be due for one this year. So that's my prediction. That's 1 L. I think the second L will be to Texas. I think Texas may be the team that ends the home winning streak in Athens. But I see my Dogs getting payback in Atlanta. So that's how I have it here. Alabama at number 5, Oklahoma at number 4, LSU at number 3, my Georgia Bulldogs at number 2, and those Texas Longhorns at number won. Okay. Kangaroo black, bruh. Yeah, that was rude, brother. That was rude. That was very rude, man. We was having a great. You invite me over there, and then when you drop the link, for those of you that missed it, uh, Kangaroo Black, I went in the chat to say hello last week, and he's oh, George ain't gonna do this. We gonna do this. We gonna kick George's ass. You know what? Next time I go live, I'm gonna drop the link for you. You hit the link. You don't want nobody else hitting this link but Amondo Black. So okay, I said, well, what time? 7:45 Sunday. Okay, so I show up last night. I pull up. I go in the chat. I'm like, okay, I'm here. I'm ready. So he drops the link, and I go up there, and we start having a pretty nice conversation. Everything going well. I'm spitting out facts, but he just didn't accept the facts. And once you got stuck on some answers and you got stuck on some questions, I noticed you let another Tide fan up on the panel. Then you let a Florida fan up on the panel. I don't even know why he even hit the panel. They haven't been relevant since damn Bush was in office. I don't understand why any Florida fan is talking. Do something on the field first before you speak on my Georgia Bulldogs, Florida fans, and whoever that gentleman was, whoever that young man was, that's a Florida podcaster. Okay, do something on the field. Hell, y'all getting ready to take the 5th L in a row. Y'all getting ready to take a 5th L in a row. So we're miles and miles ahead. The gap is getting wider between Georgia and Florida. So have a seat, young man. But you ask me, you know how Bama fans are. Everyone, you know how Bama fans are. They gotta do the Minnie Riperton thing. Right down memory lane. They got to talk about all of those 18 brag on the 18 national titles where we all know in all reality, it sounds good that you could sit there and talk about those 18 national titles, Mr. Kangaroo Black. But if you know your history, I know you're a little bit younger than me, but if you know your history of your school, all right, half of those did not get claimed until in the 80s. And what was going on in the 80s? Bama sucked. When Bear Bryant retired in 1983 and he passed away, God rest his soul, he passed away in January 83. Bama sucked that decade. They didn't win not one national title. And that's something else you said last night. You said Bama won in every era. No, they did not. They didn't win a damn thing in the 80s. Came close against Miami in the national championship game in '89, and they got blowed out by Miami. Lamar Phillips. So Erickson was the quarterback, and Dennis Erickson was the head coach. It wasn't no contest. It was like Miami was playing the JV team that night. But that's neither here or there. Bama sucked in the 80s. So someone in the Alabama athletic department decided it would be a good idea to go back and claim several national titles from back in the Little House on the Prairie days and in the early, back during World War I. And, come on, man. In my opinion, the only national titles that were legit, the ones that were won from the one from 1979 on up to now. Those are the legit ones. Anything before 1979, man, come on. There were some years that they were crowning 5 national champions at one time. And another thing they were doing back then, they were crowning national champions before the bowl games. Made no sense back then. They had no system to crown a true national champion. And also back then, the SEC was playing like 7 SEC games, so you didn't see everybody every year. Even when Herschel Walker played the entire time he was at Georgia, he never saw Bama. And Bama never saw him. He never got a chance to play against LSU. So that's how it was back in those days. But man, come on. You know, Bama fans, look, let me give you a quote by the late, great Bear Bryant. You know what Bear Bryant said? Someone asked him about, claiming national championships, because there were some years that they were not the champions. Take like 1964, okay, for instance. Arkansas dominated that year. That was the year Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones were on the same team together. They dominated that year. But for some reason, they crowned 3 other teams as national champions to go along with Arkansas. But Bear Bryant counted that. he told a reporter, listen, if a laundromat in Dothan, Alabama crowned us the national champions, I'm going to claim it. That's what your late great Bear Bryant once said. So, bro, quit bragging on those 18 national titles, bro, because we could do the same damn thing. If we went back and started claiming national titles in years that we went undefeated or years that we should have won it, that we because they were playing politics, they didn't give it to us. We could go back and claim, like in the 40s, we could go back and claim 4 national titles in that decade. We could go back and claim 1 in the 20s. We could go and claim one in 68. We also could claim 1 from 2002. Yeah, 2002. Because there were some polls that had us ahead of Ohio State. Yeah. But the BCS had Ohio State and Miami in the national championship game. So, I mean, come on, man. Let's stop bragging about those old-ass national champions, bro. Just like Janet Jackson said, what have you done for me lately? What has your football team done for the fan base lately? Not a damn thing. So you want to talk about my Georgia Bulldogs, since you all stressed out about my Georgia, but seems like, and let me just say something else. You got a 12 game schedule. Georgia's not the only team on your schedule. Seems like your Georgia is your Super Bowl. All of your energy is pent up towards Georgia. What Georgia got going on? What Georgia got coming back? So you asked me a question last night. What's my prediction for the game on September 27th? And I told you, Georgia is going to kick Alabama's ass. There ain't no doubt in my mind. I didn't hesitate. You see, last year I was hoping that we would go to Brian Denny and beat y'all. And I said that on the morning show of that Saturday. I said, I hope we win. I was nervous about this year. I have no damn doubts. No doubt whatsoever. I'm not even worried about y'all. I'm more worried about Ole Miss and Auburn and Texas than I am Bama. I'm being honest with you. You have no idea. That game is not only circle, bro. It's circle with a Sharpie. It's circle with a Sharpie. And I'm telling you, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. Y'all have no idea what you're walking into in Sanford Stadium, because that's one place that Bama has not beaten Kirby at. You have not beaten Kirby in Sanford Stadium. You beat them twice in Brian Denny and the other times in Atlanta. You ain't never beat Kirby in Sanford Stadium. Just ponder on that. Now you say we young, we don't have any. Y'all got 75%. What your reason for that Bama's gonna win? Oh, we beat y'all last year. We got 75% of our team coming back. Kangaroo. So if you have 75% of your team coming back, you know what that means? That means that you have the same clowns that went 8-4 9-4 last year. You got that same 9-4 squad coming back. That's what that means. If you have 75% of the players coming back, and to be honest with you, and if you're honest with yourself, y'all have regressed. Because in my opinion, from what I'm hearing, and there were even a few Bama fans in your chat that was saying, hey, I got to be honest with you. I got to be honest with you, KB. Man, I see 2 losses on that schedule. Well, I see 3. Georgia, LSU, Auburn. Now, I may be wrong about the Iron Bowl because, hell, anything can happen. But those 2 right there, I'm booking those. Georgia and LSU going to be 2 L's. And watch out. Be careful with Oklahoma. Be careful with Oklahoma. Because remember now, Brent Venables has always been Alabama's kryptonite. And now, you said we young. Well, let's look at the running back room. This was the most problematic area, in my opinion. We weren't able to move the ball. But we got Nate Frazier coming back. You know what Nate Frazier can do. He's one of your favorite players. You talk about him a lot. Roger Jones. He was injured last year. Roger Robinson, I'm sorry. He was injured last year. Beast. To get in the situation of 3rd and 1, or 3rd and short, or 4th and short, guaranteed first down. Turn around, hand the ball off to him, guaranteed first down. Chauncey Bowens. What can I say? Chauncey Bowens, he proven. He did some playing time last year. He got some plenty of playing time last year. Dwight Phillips, Peanut. If you do not get him on the ground, if you don't get hands on him, he's gone. He's liable to break off a 80-yard, 90-yard touchdown run on you. Yes, sir. He has skills like McIntosh. He can take it to the house at any time. Bo Walker, just look, hey, his mama didn't name him Bo Walker for nothing. His mother didn't name him Bo Walker for nothing. Named him after 2 of the most dangerous running backs in SEC history, Bo Jackson and Herschel Walker. All right, so you talk about the O-line. Oh, y'all ain't got no experience on the O-line. You ain't got no experience on the O-line. Really? See, we never really got a chance to get to this part because you kept over-talking me. And see, the thing is, you don't even know what we got. You have not studied Georgia. You have not did any research on this 2025 Georgia Bulldogs football team. What you're doing is you're listening to Paul Feinbaum, Colin Cowherd, and Josh Pate. And them 3 clowns, what they all have in common? They're Bama nut huggers. Paul Feinbaum is a professional Bama nut hugger. Colin Cowherd is a Bama nut hugger. And Josh Pate, come on. He's predicting, this clown is predicting Nebraska and Florida to make the playoffs. And I'm just going to leave that at that. And you're listening to them clowns when it comes to my Georgia Bulldogs. Really? All right. So you say we don't have no experience on the O-line. Drew Bobo Jr. played the last 2 years. Monroe Freeling. Oh, yeah. The same guy that shut down first round draft pick, James Pierce, that came to my Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, Monroe Freeland shut his ass down. James Pierce was one of the most feared pass rushers last year. He shut that ass down. And he also shut down Anthony Hill. Remember the Anthony Hill that I was referring to earlier in the program? Oh, yeah. That Monroe Freeland. He's a junior. I've already said Juan Gaston. And you laugh and you want to poo-poo. Oh, here's a freshman. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? You didn't believe me when I told you about Brock Bowers either. Let's go back to August of 2021 when I was in your chat round. I think that was the first time we actually met. And you was in there, oh, Georgia's done. They lost George Pickens. Oh, they lost Darnell Washington in camp. Oh, Georgia done. You can hang it up. Azeez Ojulari went in the draft. Oh, they don't have no leader on defense. And I told you, I said, have you heard of Nakobe Dean? Oh, he ain't no Azeez Ojulari. He's better. And he turned out to be better. Nolan Smith. Yeah. Then you said, oh, man, Darnell Washington, he down. Y'all done. Y'all done. Clemson gonna beat y'all. Clemson gonna beat y'all. This is 2021 now. And I told you, I said, we got a kid named Brock Bowers from Napa Valley, California, coming to Athens. He's a beast. I've seen film on the kid. He's a beast. Oh, you don't know nothing. You don't know what he gonna do. He a freshman. He ain't proven. You know when you know. Sometimes you know when you know when you know. Like we knew that Ryan Williams was gonna be special. We knew that Caleb Downs was gonna be special. We knew that Bryce Young was gonna be special. We knew that Tua was gonna be special. That Jalen Hurts was gonna be special. Hell, we wanted Devontae Smith. We wanted Jalen Waddle, but he chose to go to Bama. We knew those players were going to be special. Sometimes you know when you know, you know. I said the same thing about Jeremiah Smith last year. And people thought I was overhyping him, but he turned out to be everything that I advertised. So sometimes you know when you know when you know. I got an eye for talent. And this kid is going to be better than any old lineman that we put in the NFL last year. Trust me. Ernest Green, a junior. Same dude. Ask Texas about him. Ask Tennessee about him. Ernest Green, a junior. Dude won national titles here with us. Yeah. Michael Morris, junior. Jahaza Jackson, sophomore. Oh, bro, we got depth coming back. We got players coming back. I don't know where you getting this from that we don't have any in the debt. Now let's look at the D-line. You said the D-line is young. Let's take a look at this. Xavier McLeod is a sophomore. Saw what he did in that SEC championship game. Jordan Hall, junior. Remember, Jordan Hall is the reason why Big Bear left. Big Bear Alexander got the hell on and went to USC because he knew he didn't have a chance in hell of beating out Jordan Hall for the job. Christian Miller, junior. I already predicted him a first rounder. He's on Tar Michelle board. He's on Mel Kiper's board, bro. Elijah Griffin. That's another one. When you know. And I told people about Jordan Davis. I told people about Jalen Carter. Before the season started in 2020, I told everybody Jalen Carter is going to be one of the baddest D linemen in Georgia football history. And what happened? I'm saying the same thing about Elijah Griffin. And then them two bookend freshmen. Yes, sir. I said freshmen. Isaiah Gibson and Justin Green. Those two guys, y'all wanted them. Y'all wanted them. So I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, they're freshmen. They unproven. They proved up. No. I don't want to hear that. Y'all wanted them. And the linebackers, oh, man, let's not even talk about the linebackers. C.J. Allen, Jr., Gabe Harris, Jr., Chris Cole, which probably, I know C.J. Allen is on everybody's draft board, but Chris Cole might be the most talented one out of all of them. Sophomore. Justin Williams, sophomore. Raylan Wilson, junior. Zayden Walker, freshman. But that's another one. You know when you know that defense is going to be nasty, bro. That defense is going to be nasty. And that secondary is going to be a no-fly zone, bro. It's going to be hard to put up points on that secondary. If you do not have no running game or a running quarterback, a quarterback that can do what Jalen Miro was able to do last year against us, you're going to be in trouble, because it ain't going to be nowhere to throw that ball against this secondary. KJ Bolden, sophomore. Ja'Cory Thomas, senior. Zion Branch, transfer from USC, senior. Janelle Aguero, junior. Try running across the middle on Aguero. Let Ryan Williams come across that middle. And Aguero is standing there waiting on him. Ask Isaiah Bond. Ask Isaiah Bond about Aguero. He put him out of both games. He put Bond out in the first game in Austin. He put him out in the one in Atlanta. Dalen Everett. He on everybody's board to be a first rounder. Dalen Everett, the SEC champion MVP. SEC championship game MVP. So, bro, let's not talk about no debt. Let's not talk about experience. Okay, because we're bringing back players. Everybody I just named, mostly upperclassmen. We're bringing back players where it's needed. And the new players that will be starting, the freshmen that will be starting, trust me and believe, they beat out upperclassmen for those positions. And there's a damn good reason why they will be starting. Yes, sir. Remember Jordan Davis started his freshman year. Jalen Carter played day one. N'Kobe Dean played day one. Nolan Smith played day one. And it was a damn good, valid reason. Tariq Stevenson played day one. And Tariq Stevenson was the first player off the draft board in 2022. Ponder on that, Mr. Kangaroo Black. And brother, anytime you want to have another conversation with me, man, hey, I'm free anytime, man. Just drop me a comment in the comment section and I'll pull up, brother. I'll be over there watching. I'll come over there and type and chop it up with you, man. But that was rude last night, man. That was rude. That was very, very rude. Everyone, thank you all for coming on out. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Hey, this was episode 1, the season premiere of the Dog Call. Normally, I don't take them out this long. But hey, hey, man, time flies when you're having fun. And anybody that knows me knows I love my college football and I love talking about college football. So any chance I get to talk about college football, I'm going to do that. So everyone, hit that like button. Love you all. Get home safe in that traffic. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Have a safe, blessed, and productive Monday. And one last thing. Go Dogs! Sick 'em! Woo, 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 woo. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Trigger.